Hello again. We're going to now move on to the third section and take a little bit of a closer look at the three particular countries in Africa and some of the issues faced by them in Chapter 23. Nigeria, the Congo, and also in Tanzania. So let's take a quick look at each one of those three. There was, of course, after independence was granted for Nigeria, they drew up a constitution. However, as discussed last section, the ethnic rivalries that were in each of the countries because of when the colonial powers divided Africa back in the 1800s, there was no consideration given for ethnic rivalries. So we had the contingency of the Biafra state, which caused a civil war to break out, and unfortunately, almost 1 million of people in Nigeria died as a result of these ethnic battles, and so that's had a large repercussion on the history of Nigeria moving forward as they began in their independent course. Some positive things was the oil boom of the 1970s helped to stabilize the Nigerian economy. During the early 1970s, the United States was under a oil crisis. They believed, many were led to believe anyway, that there was a shortage and that prices would go up significantly and that we needed to find even more sources of oil. So this was a boon to their economy for a while. This caused, however, more and more people to want to flee the rural areas and to go into the more urbanized areas to access possible health care, education, and other things. So the cities began to grow, but without stable farms and grain, the oil prices eventually fell, and then because of the food prices were food was scarce, the prices there went up, and the economy almost collapsed. During this crisis, Babangida imposed a harsh economic system to try to make the economy more stable, to some success. General Babangida then continued to rule with a heavy hand until Obasanjo in 1993. Babangida was defeated by Obasanjo, and there, being a friend of President George Bush, they were able to defuse the situation and assist in the Sudan. Today, more recently, a few years back, Goodluck Jonathan was sworn in, and there are now, since then, other leaders in Nigeria. Let's take a look at the Congo. As you recall, was one time under the Belgian rule of Belgium and was an extreme example of colonial abuse. The Belgian Congo was a poster child of how brutal colonial control could be in Africa. And in 1960, they suddenly rushed Congo to independence. And over 200 ethnic groups, of course. So Congo has switched names and has split and has had many, many different types of government and since then, and it's been a very trying time. So civil war has raged on in the Congo until one Mobutu Sese Seko seized power in 1965, and there, like I said earlier, renamed it to Zaire. And Mobutu Sese Seko was also a brutal dictator, as many of those in Africa, such as Idi Amin in Uganda, which we talked about earlier. So this spilled in to them. Today we have two countries of the Congo, which we call Congo Kinshasa, with a capital in Kinshasa, and the other Congo has its capital in Brazzaville. So that is how you can differentiate between the two on the map today. So Laurent Kabila was shot by his own bodyguards back in 2001. And Laurent Kabila, then of course, son took over, and today we have continuing trouble with rebels in various parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So as you go up to more of the modern era, the new constitution was signed in 2005. Let's move into Tanzania. And they, of course, as you know, experiment more with socialism under Nyerere. And they tried to build this so-called classless society and gain a self-reliant economy based on a socialist or a so-called African socialist model based on the African village traditions. This sounded good at the time, but again, he thought farm output would increase, but it didn't work as planned. Many people had to be forcibly relocated, causing problems with refugees and farm output. And this plunged Tanzania into a lot of debt. And Ali Hassan Mwinyi moved them towards a more market economy, so more of a capitalist open market economy as what caused some improvement. So those are some of the changes that happened in Tanzania.